What up, y'all? Welcome back to Yeah, I Said It, the podcast for all things sports. And today we're going to talk about NBA, all things NBA. Got to talk about the playoffs. They talking about doing a mid-season tournament and what player has the most to gain by winning a chip this season? Next on Yeah, I Said It Sports. Subscribe, motherfucker! What up, y'all? Welcome back to Yeah, I Said It, the podcast for all things sports. I'm your host, Chris, and I got the fellas with me. What up, guys?
What up?
Shit, nothing much, man. Y'all know how we do it. We get right into it. We got to talk about the NBA. We ain't gonna talk about the playoffs just yet. So we got to talk about the mid-season tourney that they're thinking about adding to the NBA season. So the NBA is thinking about adding a mid-season tournament. I don't know if it's a play-in tournament or however they're going to do it. So it's supposed to involve. I'm gonna give y'all a graphic here. So it's a 18 single game elimination tournament. It's European soccer style. The winning players on each team gets paid $1 million. And the season will be reduced with this format. The season will be reduced from 82 games to 78 games. Now, bring y'all back. I don't know what this entails as far as does this give you an automatic berth to the playoffs, or they hasn't come out with any of those details yet. But do y'all think this is a good idea? Or a bad idea? Sean, I know you're just not finding out about it, but Blair, what you think, man? What you think? Is this a good idea or a bad idea? Because this is crazy.
I think it's a terrible idea, dude. I don't understand unless they really feel bad about the money that they lost from COVID, from the coronavirus thing. I don't understand what making a single elimination basketball tournament in the middle of a basketball season is going to do. I don't get it. Other than, they want their games to be important, so they want people to kind of care. But what does a mid-season tournament do? It doesn't, solidify anything. It doesn't tell you who's the best team in the league. It doesn't do anything except for pay the dudes who win $1 million. And those dudes are rich. So I don't understand, it's going to take 4 games out of the season. It's only going to take the top 8 teams. Is that period by record only? Or is it the top 4 from each side? It's just, the reference about football made me kind of nervous when he said, NFL, they got 70, but their games mean so much. But I'm like, dude, yes, the fewer games you play, the more they mean to that respective sport. Look how many games they play in baseball. Nobody cares if they play 162 games or 182 games. Only a few of those games matter to you. And they only matter to people. It's just baseball is a summer thing, so people come out to the stadiums. So they make a lot of money, whether that's on TV or not. But basketball is not so. It's 82 games. Each game means only so much. Everybody knows. Everybody has the perception that dudes don't play hard all the time in the pro. So a lot of people like college basketball, pro basketball, because they feel like pro players start taking it more seriously towards the second half of the season. The younger dudes trying to prove something. If they don't have anything to prove and they just out there cruising, they go play the big games when it matter. And then, they do the load management stuff now that they've been doing, but they've made it a point to call it load management and getting guys rest. It's just, it seems like they want their games to have more of a life or death feel to them, like football, where every game does mean so much. And even the last, 5-6 week football season, depending on how wild it is, can be in flux, and every single game from every week can matter. But in basketball, y'all play too many games to try to make the middle of the season feel significant in a 18 playoff. Like it just, I don't get the point of it other than it's going to be run when they run March Madness. Is that considered the middle of the season or something?
Yeah,
Because if
it's
the
like
season starts in
like
October,
February. I
you
think that
know, I'm assuming if February is usually
January,
what, the middle?
February.
Yeah, like the All-Star game. Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
So if February
It's a
is like
little. That's a little after half. Yeah.
yeah, it's a little
so they're
All
gonna
after
Star
do
that.
game is
what?
like a
They're gonna
little
have
after half.
a mid-season tournament for the first of the year.
I think it's a bad idea too, just because it's gonna be too many variables to change about what you already got going on. Like you take away 4 games from the season, okay? So, but the people who play in the tournament, the teams who lose, do they play less games than everybody else? Do you like set all of these makeup games for the teams who lose, who are just gonna play each other again, which they're not gonna show no interest in because they just lost in the so-called tournament, so they're not gonna care about these other games that they gotta play, those couple of games. And then, like you said, it's mid-season. All-Star break is like right after the halfway point in the season. So where are you gonna fit the tournament in? Is this Are you gonna treat it like the Maui Invitational? Are you going with preseason stuff and just these dudes are gonna do this then, which they still not gonna be interested in because they gonna feel like that's just some preseason shit. So it's like it's really not room. And like Blair said, these niggas rich $1 million. They don't care about no $1 million. Some of these dudes make $1 million in a day.
Mm-hmm.
They make more than some of these dudes make more than $1 million in a game. And most of them gonna be in the so-called play-in tournament if you basing it off of seeding.
Because if it has no bearing on the standings, bro, and it has no bearings on
Exactly.
anything, what's the incentive for the dudes that make a whole bunch of money to even play?
Exactly. So it's gonna be like it's too much. It's too much already going on, man. It's too much stuff you're gonna have to push back around and all of that just for nothing. Just for you want people to be like, oh, watch these games. If good teams are playing, they're gonna watch the games anyway. So schedule those teams that you think gonna be good to play each other. I disagree with it wholeheartedly. I feel like Sean agrees with me. I could be wrong. Sean, what you think, man?
Man, simple. This shit's stupid. Man, I don't even have nothing else to say. This shit's stupid.
It really is, bro.
Look,
It doesn't make any sense. Like, who cares that pros are gonna play a tournament? That's what the playoffs are for. Who cares about what they gonna win a belt? They gonna win a wrestling belt, somebody win a chain or something. Like, who cares?
they get $1 million. I think that's them trying to entice the players. You get $1 million. The only players that you're gonna entice with $1 million is the dudes that's in the G League or on the verge
The ones that's
of
making
making
the
the
minimum,
team and
the
going to the G
minimum
League.
dude.
You know, like that the dudes that's like the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th guys on the squad. Yeah, $1 million gonna be pretty significant for them niggas, but even they still get paid sitting on the bench. So I don't see really how you're going to do this, how you're going to work this in. What's the purpose of it? I agree with you. I think they're trying to be more like how football is and like college football and
But you
NFL
can't,
football.
bro.
But you guys play too many games.
You literally
It's never
cannot
going to be
do
that
that.
way. It's never going to be that way. Everybody's trying to play you. Everybody's playing everybody. It's just never going to mean that much to the players except towards the end of the season if you're trying to position yourself for seeding.
If they want such shock value in them games, adopt the WNBA schedule for a year. Everybody will watch all the games because now all the games matter.
Yep.
Because they only play like 30-something games.
Cut it to 50.
50?
Nigga, cut it to 35. Cut it to 35. You want dudes the ball? Cut it to 35.
Yeah,
It
you
ain't
can
no
swing
more for
35 games out of it'll.
yeah.
But see, that's the thing. Like football is so violent, you can't
There's a
play it more than
reason,
once a
yeah.
week. And even when they do, those Thursday games are terrible. And usually it's a Thursday after you've been off. Like they try to space it out so you don't play on Sunday and Thursday. Them Thursday games are trash when them dudes play on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's too much. Like y'all play 82 games. Enjoy y'all 82 game season.
I I feel like Jesus. I feel like they're trying to, because the play-in tournament went pretty well and the Lakers ended up in it and it was very good games. I feel like they're trying to, oh well, let's do like a mid-season tournament, but no, you're
You
doing
felt
too
like
Think
it
much.
those are
went that
connected at
good.
all, bro. They've already talked about that mid-season tournament before. It's
Yeah.
not that
But
the playing game was so successful. It's they're literally just trying to think of ways to make the games mean more at certain stages of the season. Because dudes, they know some dudes just don't care. But that's the league. We know everybody ain't trying to win a ring in the NBA. Everybody's not
Right.
there to win a ring, yo. It's not
Most
what it is.
most of them ain't trying to win a
that's in
ring.
every sport. It's just when you in a league where, like you said, you got 82 games like the NBA or 160 some games like the MLB.
It's
It's
crazy.
easier to not give a fuck for 2 weeks. You know why? Because we just went on a fucking 21 game win streak. Fuck this week. I'm about to focus on my family. I'm about to miss this practice and go to my kids' recital. Why? Because we number one and we ahead by 8 games.
NBA from the fans, from yeah, I said it. We say cut that bullshit out. Cut the bullshit. Leave
Sean
it the
said
way
it
it
the best.
is.
Shit is stupid.
It don't make sense. Don't make sense to us. So
It just seems like they trying to grab some money from somewhere.
I agree.
and we're gonna leave it just like that because that's just, I feel like it's a fact when you say that. Moving on, we gotta talk about the NBA playoffs, man. We How y'all liking it, man? I'm enjoying this shit. It's something
Yeah.
new every day. The niggas is balling. Now we really seeing some basketball now. DeAndre Ayton is out here hooping. I don't know what Anthony Davis thought he was getting into, but he better step his game up because Ayton coming for your neck. I really thoroughly enjoyed that matchup. Um, that's the thing I like the most that I've seen so far. That matchup, Luka, big boying the Clippers. That shit was funny. He didn't
Too
have to do Pat
little.
Bev like that, bro.
You're too little, Patty.
Told him he was too
Little
little.
beef Patty.
Oh, they can't stop him. I mean, how y'all enjoying this shit, man? I mean, what y'all think gonna happen, man, in this first round, man? It's a
I
lot going on.
I ain't gonna lie. Not much happened in the first couple of games that I didn't think was gonna happen. The games were definitely of great quality, though. You know what I'm saying? The only surprise I had, I did not think the Jazz was gonna let Memphis steal game one. I did
Yeah, I
think
didn't think
Memphis
that
was
one
going.
either. I didn't see
I
that one
thought
coming.
Memphis was gonna win a game, but game one, hey, shout out my boy Ja, South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Shout out my boy. But I expected the Suns to beat the Lakers game one. Like that don't bother me. The Lakers lost every game one last year except for in the finals. So I mean, that's just it. Some of them boys still rusty. Um, the Brooklyn Nets game, I'm surprised they let them stay in it for as long as they did, but it's game one. You know what I'm saying? So I gave everybody a pass. Luka, I was very excited to see. I did pick the Mavs to beat the Clippers in the first round because I feel like they cannot guard this dude, bro.
He
Like
averaging 30,
it's
10,
just
and 9 or some
it's
stuff
like
against them.
he's the biggest thing with, I think, and I feel like it's with a lot of these European players. People treat them like they're NBA, they're just NBA young. People treat them like they're young to basketball, period. Luka's just NBA young. This man played professionally overseas for a long time. So, like, basketball knowledge, I feel like is so much higher than they give him credit for. And he been built that way for a minute, man. He's short. He's not necessarily slow. He's elusive, like Paul Pierce was. This man Hezzy is crazy, like crazy. And when he get that little step on you, he ain't no little dude, man. So guess what? It don't matter if you Kawhi. It don't matter if you Paul George. It definitely don't matter if you Pat Beverly. Obviously, he can get that body into because he weigh just as much as you. So at that point, shit, your height don't matter. Because if I get the bump, shit, I'm good. And he hit that Trey bomb good as hell game one. I want to see if he can keep that up consistently. But if he can keep that up consistently, he don't got to hit 5 every game. But if he can bust them for like 2 or 3 good ones to where you know they got to come out there, man, Mavericks in 6. Real talk. But other than that, I like everything so far. I like everything so far. It's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. These niggas hungry.
I definitely see if Luka continues to do what he been doing, and it looks like he gonna continue to do what he been doing from last year to this year to what 2 days ago.
Remember, they felt like last year they was only a Porzingis away from beating these dudes, bro. No, that's it. All he needed was somebody else.
The sad part is the Clippers tanked the end of the season to avoid the Lakers and then get the Mavericks and might get kicked out by the Mavericks.
They supposedly tanked. Hey. I kind of believe they kind of did. Because, I mean, some people's strategy is to do shit like that, and they'll call it strategy. You know what I'm saying? They like,
it's called strategy if it works out, bro. It's always if it works out, it's good strategy.
Yes,
if it doesn't, it's bad strategy.
Yeah,
it definitely counts. The same way they sit certain people in certain games. It's fantastic so far. Nothing really stands out as crazy. Everybody wants to see what Brooklyn looked like. That was pretty much the big push of it. And that was, I didn't think Utah was going to give that game up either. But I also feel like they were kind of feeling it. You know, he was the late game scratch kind of hurt because he's the guy that makes the shots that they need. Like when it counts.
Upset about that.
So he was pissed and he couldn't really say anything, but that's about what it is, man. I see everybody else seems to be about right on, you know. I said Milwaukee should win. This should be the year. They should definitely beat Miami. Like if they can beat Miami, that's we couldn't beat Miami
thing. Smoke them boys now.
Yeah. It's getting bad, but of course they still got to go back to Miami and we'll see kind of what happens. The game tonight is the Suns game tonight, right? The Suns and the
LA they play
tonight.
They play at 10 and
that's Brooklyn game is on now, bro. It's Boston is in trouble.
Yeah, it's ugly.
This is what people thought it was going to be from the gate, but I won't get into that. LA, if they go down 2-0, I ain't necessarily saying it's 100% over, but if they go down 2-0 and lose a game in LA, it's over. If they lose game 3 or 4, I think they're going to be in trouble. They can make it to game 5 and it's split. LA has a chance, but if they make it to game 4, if they can get out of LA with a win, I think they should be able to wrap it up. Hopefully, Chris Paul's was just a stinger because that's gonna hurt. If they lose Chris Paul, that's definitely gonna hurt.
Yeah,
Denver, they'll probably be all right. If they're gonna keep playing Jokic like that, bro, they should be able to make it out of the first round with the way he's playing. Long as Michael Porter Jr. can be consistent and they can get some shots from some of them other dudes. Because Porter Jr. is putting up about 20, 25 shots a game now. Like, he has already opened his mind up to being the dude that gets to shoot. So that's going to happen. The playoffs, they look good. The first games did. The second game starting to be blowouts, and it's starting to be kind of what you thought it was going to be. usually the first round of the playoffs is not that interesting. 4 and 5 is usually interesting because 4 and 5 is usually close as far as like season and play. And those dudes look good, but once you start spreading out, you know, everything past 3-6 is sketchy. 1-8 and 2-7 is never really that great. You know, you expect it to be something this year because LA is there, but it's never as great as what people want it to be. That's why it's always a surprise when they make it out the first round.
Yeah. See, look, I got to get my media credentials up because the first first question I want to ask Paul George is, so it was Doc's fault y'all lost again this year, 10, huh?
I tell you this, you can't ask him that question.
He played all right. He played all right in that game.
Hey,
I feel like he played all right. He was
Here's the
cold. He
difference.
was cold in the first half, but he played all right.
I don't know what playoff, and I get it where they came up with it from, but he never actually made it all the way through to the finals.
no.
He was
He showed
under
up
that.
a couple years in the playoffs, and then the moment got too
I can't
big
blame him
for
for
him,
that.
and then he started buckling.
Nah,
I can't blame him for
it's
that.
just like every other super duper star we have. He fell under that umbrella of, oh, this is LeBron's East right now, and if you want to go to the finals, you're gonna have to be on LeBron team. And him, DeMar DeRozan, fell victim to that. A couple of them dudes.
Yeah. But I'm enjoying it, man. Sean, how you enjoying it, bro?
For real, I feel like Blair. Like the first round, I really don't pay no attention to, man. As a fan, I've been checking out the Boston and the Nets game. Like, I think that's the most entertaining to me. As far as Ja Morant and them, man, they that's it for them. They're only gonna win one game. It's a wrap. But he is a true beast, though. Star, bro. He's a superstar.
Superstar
For real.
Superstar.
As far as my Lakers, I'm not concerned at all. Not one drop. I do admit that is a beast, man. I mean, he deserved the number one pick. They still need about 2 more years, man. But as I stated before, with CP3, man, these guys are really playing good ball, man. And I already said in a previous episode that I love Booker, man. So them guys is nice. I think it's just the LeBron thing on the West, but I can see LeBron's age catching up to him too. And I'm just being honest there. You know what I'm saying? So don't
Definitely is.
Next year he only averaging maybe 21 points a game, and a year after that maybe 17.
If that.
Yeah, you feel me? It's.
You think the ankle blew it like that, bro?
I think it's like brand new tires, bro. I think he put them motherfuckers on the highway too long, and you know what I'm saying, some tread done came off, and he ain't had a chance to get an oil change yet, bro. You know what I'm saying? I think he did purposely took off a lot of that time for that injury, but he ain't 100% yet. And as we all
that injury is legit, bro. Like that,
exactly.
He still came back sooner than most people say you should come back from that injury.
And I think that's a LeBron thing. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody know he shows up in the playoffs. So I think
that's part of.
Yeah, it's that competitor in him. You know what I'm saying? He don't want to go out like that. It would have been smart for him to miss maybe 1 or 2 games in the first round, but he ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? I think AD really do have to step up to win this series, to be honest with you. But am I like super intrigued? Nah. I thought the Boston game would be a little bit better. I thought Jason Tatum would really show out, and it's not really his fault. It's just they ain't got Brown. But Williams is balling defensively. Williams is balling.
What's the name? Is trash.
Who?
Tatum's still gonna have to put up like 40 for it to be good.
Kemba Walker, man, this is trash, bro.
I wouldn't call him trash. I just think he.
No, I'm saying I ain't saying like him. He's not like just a bum, but like he's not. He hasn't been for Boston.
What they paid him for, yeah. What they paid him for, he hasn't been that dude.
Exactly.
His moves are garbage.
I agree with that. But the Clippers, man, they booty, bro. It's just that simple.
I don't think the Clippers are booty. I really won't even. I don't think.
I ain't gonna lie. If they don't make the conference finals this year now,
That's what I'm
You can
saying.
say.
you
gotta blow it up.
You gotta be like, man, this cluster just ain't gonna work. It's just like it had looked good on paper. Like that's it. If they don't,
I
they
mean,
got it.
look over the last like 10, 12 years. They keep on looking good on paper. They had Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, CP3.
Yeah.
Every time you looked up, you seen them on a highlight reel. You know what I'm saying? Now you get these two dudes together. They're supposed to be the best thing smoking. Dude dropped what, $3 billion on them? I mean,
Two.
Yes.
$2 billion.
$2 billion, man. He stopped doing what he was doing to drop $2 billion, and at that time, wasn't that a record?
Yes.
Yeah. And the only thing he did was get
Guys,
Kawhi and Paul George commercials.
Ain't no Paul George shoes getting sold like that. Ain't no claw shoes.
I'm about to get them PlayStations. I ain't gonna lie.
You know what? My son grabbed some, but
Dude, they sell PGs, bro.
Niggas be hooping in PGs.
And they sell New
They
Balance.
just don't be hooping
Kawhi,
like
bro.
PG.
Oh, my fault. Shout out to the nurses that wear the New Balances.
That get them Kawhis straight out of Rite Aid.
Rite Aid, bro. You told business.
I gotta get a prescription with them.
Sean, them joints come with them little strawberry candies, bro.
Three pair of Dr. Scholl's in them.
Y'all told business, bro.
Them motherfuckers could tell your temperature, bruh.
That's terrible.
Dude, refund, bro.
Bro, my granddaddy probably got about 4 pair of them things.
Crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He ain't got no arches. They helping arch. I ain't mess with y'all, man. Y'all
Hey, Blair was like, hey, man, people buy New Balances, man. They be selling them joints, bro. I'm like,
Yeah.
I ain't
Yeah,
selling
them boys buy. They
selling
buy them original New Balance.
I think his shoes.
Somebody out here hooping in them Kawhis, man. They probably a good hoop shoe for real.
Possibly, yeah. Possibly.
Somebody, they wearing them Kawhis, bro. Don't get it twisted. He played basketball, and he won ring. Somebody
wear
Somebody
Kawhi from wearing them Kawhis.
Somebody wearing them. You copy pair of Blair?
What?
Oh, he said he thought you had the Jolly Ranchers that came out.
I just wanted the flip flops.
Oh, word.
Hey.
You know, Kawhi, dude. I don't wear those for no. If they ain't the original ends, like the 306s or 705s or whatever they call them, bro, like the big fat end New Balance, I wouldn't wear them.
Do Kawhi wear the Kawhis in game?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
I was just asking. I don't be paying attention to shoes.
He wears his
I was
shoes
literally
in game,
just
bro. You're the worst. He wears his shoes in game.
That's real, dog.
Yeah. Do they got New Balances on 2K?
Are the Kawhis on 2K?
The 2K shoes are Kawhis.
Dirty.
Y'all got problems, man.
Hey, look. Some niggas have good shoes, some niggas don't.
That'll work.
But it's a great time watching these playoffs, man. I ain't gonna lie, I'm having a good time watching.
It's gonna be real sad in a few weeks. That's why you know it, because you know as soon as it goes down to like 4 teams, it's a wrap, bro.
Them games dwindle down
really quickly.
Yeah, they dwindle down. At least this summer we got the Olympics, so we'll be fine. We can talk about that. You know.
Oh, I'm about to say, don't expect it to be much in the way of basketball during this Olympics, bro. None of them dudes gonna play.
No.
The Olympics will have a variety of topics.
Oh, most definitely. But moving on. We're gonna stick with basketball, man. From what's going on right now, what player in the playoffs will benefit most from winning a chip? This is a Darius question. Blair, man, what you think, man? Who will
You don't say it's
benefit
a serious
most?
question and then ask me. I ain't heard nothing about this
All right.
question.
All right. So basically,
No, it's cool, bro. I got it.
do your thing.
I'm just
Do your
saying.
thing. Do your
I'm drop
thing,
it on my
player.
kneecaps and be like, hey, it ain't mine, but here it go. Anyway, who would benefit the most from this playoffs championship?
Like
Winning,
if a
winning
player,
this year.
like
For
a
legacy,
player.
right? Yeah, for
Mhm.
Yeah,
player
that's what
legacy.
I'm looking at.
It
Yeah,
would be Chris Paul. It would be Chris
that's
Paul.
what you think.
Because, all right, so everybody that you would think of that needs one to like validate their career pretty much got one. You ain't thinking about Blake and dudes like that. So it's like not Andre Drummond. So AD got one, LeBron got one. Like it would have been big if it wasn't the first run for LA because AD, it was really big for him to get one, especially with that stink he made to get out of New Orleans, bro. Like if they just was garbage during his years, that would have been real bad. So he got a ring. I would say PG for the legacy, but unless PG gets Finals MVP, it ain't gonna really to me change his legacy because the way people look at him as a playoff player, he would have to change how the view of that goes.
Mm-hmm.
So like it would really help Paul because Kawhi got two of them joints. So ain't nobody worried if Kawhi sucks or not because he was the feature on both teams when they won. As the offensive person, he was the feature. And you know how good he is on defense. So it would really help Paul George, but I think the one that it helps the most right now at this stage of their career will be Chris Paul. Because technically, Chris Paul is still balling, and what he does probably doesn't fade very much over these next few years. Because I'm assuming whatever step he was going to lose, pretty gone. It's all about footwork now. So it's about angles, and he's a point guard, so he knows like angles and the feet work of all of that. So it's still he can still get open the same way Nash could when Nash wasn't the fastest dude. It's just about where they put their feet when y'all running there. And he's really good at that. But he needs a ring for people to know how good Chris Paul is. Because most people know about Chris Paul as dude who's in the State Farm commercials. You wasn't sure if he was going to be able to keep his commercials when he left Clippers. Yeah, bro. A lot of people only know him from the State Farm commercials, dude. They got real big with Lob City, but they didn't do anything
I highly
during the Lob
disagree.
City years. So, like, the casual fan and Chris Paul are not, like, well known. He's more seen
I
as
highly disagree.
Do you? With Chris
Yes.
Paul, bro? You think
Yes.
everybody think the casual fan
Bruh,
thinks Chris Paul is great?
Chris Paul is considered the point guard, man. What you
That's
mean?
from basketball people, bro. That's
No,
from people that know the
no,
game and play the
no,
game. That's not his nickname.
no,
Is not the point guard. Man. Everybody doesn't
no.
know that.
But even the casual fan can look and say, "Bro, I ain't never seen Chris Paul go somewhere and you be like, Chris Paul team was trash." Because everywhere that Chris Paul goes, he hasn't won a championship yet, but everywhere that he goes, the team is better than they was before. Everybody's recognized that.
As a point guard, yes, bro, but people as regular fans don't understand how great Chris Paul is. You know how good Chris Paul is, bro.
I disagree.
Dude, greatness, the type of greatness he has is not the type that people can see. You can't just see it watching him
I highly
play.
disagree.
Okay.
I highly disagree.
I don't think so, bro. I really don't think so. That's why people always be like, y'all need to respect Chris Paul. They wouldn't be saying that for a good piece of his career if people didn't underestimate Chris Paul.
I understand where you're coming from as far as the casual fan is concerned.
I'm talking about the casual, which is most basketball watchers, bro. Are casual
a lot of basketball that
fans.
don't really pay attention to basketball like how
Him
we
winning
normally
a
how we
ring
do.
immediately tells they like, yeah, but he's the dude. Like all his teams don't suck. And you're right, he makes the teams better. But a casual fan wouldn't be able to see everything that Chris Paul does like a real avid basketball fan would be able to see.
I agree with you as far as like legacy concerned, because that's the soon as he sent me this question, as soon as he sent this question out, I was like, man, I thought about Chris Paul, but then I started to get to thinking. And I started running through the names, your Chris Pauls, and like you said, your DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, and Kevin Durant.
Well, you can't think of KD. He got a ring, bro. And finals
That
MVP.
don't. But
I
that
don't think that
mean
disqualifies
another
him from.
ring
Oh,
win.
you
For
mean
legacy.
out of just everybody playing?
Yeah,
Who does the ring validate their career? Oh no, it's still Chris Paul.
Yeah, and it's really hard to beat that one, but I think I'm going to beat it. And considering everything he's been through for the past couple of years, albeit self-doing, I think it's Kyrie Irving. Here's why. People say he's crazy and that he's a detriment and he's a cancer to the team and he don't want to do this and he don't really want to play basketball.
Who says that?
Everybody.
Do people say it or do reporters say it,
what
bro?
you mean who says that?
I know plenty of people that love Kyrie Irving. Think Kyrie
yes,
is the
you know plenty of people that love Kyrie Irving. I'm talking about right now.
People that love Chris Paul, but you just told me the casual fan can't appreciate an 11-time NBA All-Star.
Dude, that's a fact. You have to tell people for them to even know, bro. People don't even know he went 11 times. Like that's a fact that you know. Don't shake your head, Chris. You knew off the top of your head Chris Paul went to the All-Star game.
He went more than that.
If these people watching the All-Star game every year and he always there, how they don't know?
They don't know. They don't know, bro. You don't know. They don't know. They don't know.
Come on, man.
Trust me, they don't know.
Listen, man.
They don't know.
Come on, man.
To finish my point,
my bad. Let me
these niggas
Irving thing
be
slide.
talking bad about this nigga all season. From him doing the sage on the court, everything. I think it would mean a whole lot to him, and he'll get his chip, and he gonna walk away because I think he gonna be done with basketball after this year. I honestly think he possibly gonna be like, I'm good. I done had enough. I'm out.
So what does that do for his legacy? You said it needs it.
I think he's the type of person that be like, I want this chip, and so none of y'all can say nothing about me. So fuck y'all, I'm gone.
Is that because he won it without LeBron? You think he just want to win one without LeBron?
That too, especially if he end up doing it against LeBron too. That even adds more, more on top. So that for me, I think it got to be Kyrie Irving for me. Gotta be Kyrie Irving for me.
But I'm about to like Kyrie got a ring though, bro.
And that doesn't mean that it wouldn't do nothing for his legacy. I saw somebody who also said that they felt like they don't agree with the Chris Paul thing at all. They don't agree with Kyrie. They don't agree with none of that. They think it's James Harden. I don't think it's James Harden. They think it's James Harden. Somebody else I saw thinks it's Kevin Durant. But that's their own personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? Just because you got a ring this year, what would this ring do for this player's legacy? Who's got the most to gain?
See, I even start thinking about who doesn't have a ring.
And that's because that's your perspective. And I agree. I feel like Chris Paul is a good pick. But for me, I'm also going with somebody who ringless, but I feel like who legacy got the benefit from this the most is Giannis. Easily Giannis. With Chris Paul, I like to pick Chris Paul, but where we differ, I feel like for Chris Paul, it would be more of icing on the cake. Because it's like everybody knows that Chris Paul is good. It's like, why doesn't this nigga have a ring yet? It's like, for Chris Paul, this would just be like, okay, you did all this other stuff. You got your ring. All right, cool. For Giannis, I think it propels him because we just talked about how LeBron is on the back end. If Giannis win this ring this year, this instantly propels him to the top because that's what everybody been waiting for him to do. I don't care about no Kevin Durant. I don't care about Devin Booker, Zion Williamson. all these young cats out here balling. If Giannis wins a ring this year, especially if he finals MVP, next year face of the league is Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's over with. It's over with. That junk, I feel like it does that much for him in particular. He got the most of the game.
Yeah, but see, the reason, I guess I just look at it more like how much you got left. Like, your legacy is what they talk about after you play basketball, bro. Like, not necessarily to me while you're playing. That your legacy is what comes. And if he don't win a ring, he falls into the category of like AI or somebody that you just knew was good, but it's only like a generation of people that know how good that dude was. Like, just like Barkley, like everybody know Barkley can ball, but they always leave out Barkley as a baller because he didn't win a ring. It's just because in the end, people start boiling down your career to numbers, just the raw numbers of your career. They don't have visuals of you.
I feel you.
They always pull it up, so they boil it down to what the numbers say. So yeah,
I feel you.
Get better from the time he got there, but he never won a ring. Like, and he got hurt. So like the idea that he couldn't come through when it counted because he got hurt at the biggest moments, especially on the latter half of his career, that it's like, hey man, he was good but not good enough.
Yeah, and I feel you on that. But this is where I think is Giannis. Is because at this point, all you want Chris Paul to do is get a ring. And you feel like, yeah, that's gonna top his legacy. Chris Paul don't have the chance or never was in the period to be in the place that Giannis is in. Chris Paul wasn't an MVP and defensive player of the year. They weren't looking at Chris Paul when he was 25, 26, like, bruh, this dude, he missing this. He missing this, and it's gonna be it. All of the shooting woes and all of the stuff that we talking about, all of that stuff is out the window. If Giannis wins and becomes final MVP, they like at that point, all that shit irrelevant because he beat it all. And now
he still got it done when it mattered. Yeah.
Yeah. And now it's like, bro, now they looking at him like with Chris Paul, it's like, all right, man, you can sail into the win. You won. You know what I'm saying? But with Giannis, it's like, okay, now you done took it to this height. Where's the next height you gonna take it? Because he in that position in his career. And it's like,
they are waiting on that next step.
And if Giannis win this year, I feel like that's the direction that the league is gonna take. I feel like with him winning, that will make the biggest shift in everything. Because they'll shift from LeBron to Giannis. Fuck AD, fuck KD, fuck James Harden.
Well, yeah, like, all those dudes are older. Niggas. They're like either 30 or almost 30 or up. So they trying to give it to a young dude, bro. You need a young dude that can hold it for some years.
And he the only one in the playoffs right now, I think, that can get it. Sean, what's up? Who you got?
Man, reiterate that question again.
What player
can
benefit the most from winning this year's chip?
When y'all sent me the text message, like Blair, I thought about Chris Paul because I believe he deserves a chip. I mean, he do everything right. I mean, works with the Players Association. What? He the president or something like that?
Yeah, he's the Players Association.
So on paper, he's like that guy you want your daughter to marry. You feel me? He on the commercials, the whole nine. Everything look good. I would love for Chris Paul to get a ring. I agree with Darius as well. I was thinking Giannis. I'm like, why y'all talking? Like, man, I might slide in Giannis. But honestly, the way the NBA is trending since Jordan, as far as getting international fans, Jokic, if he won a chip, bruh, the sky's the limit for international television. The revenue will go up. More guys from overseas will come over that can ball. I'm gonna have more camps. You already see the NBA starting to have like the African
Yeah, the
NBA.
boy got the Africa League.
Yeah, so I think on an international level, if he won a ring this year, I don't think it's possible. I think it would take the NBA to another level far as with media and that presence. But in my personal opinion, I would have to say it's one of them three. I'll have to go with James Harden. The way he took himself out of Houston. I mean, they formed a big three. Shit, you might as well say a big six, goddamn, a whole big team.
Okay.
So I would have to say with James Harden, this would solidify his career because A, he don't have a ring. He been close. He got multiple MVPs. They gonna always argue with him being with Russell, saying they didn't win a ring. They gonna argue about him when he was young, didn't win a ring with KD and Russell. And they always gonna have, hey, he was just a scorer, blah, 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 blah. So I think that ring will have him in that Hall of Fame category. I think he will eventually make it like Charles. But I think that ring will just put him on another level for real. But since y'all took my two, I'm gonna go with Jokic, man.
I never thought about it
I
from the
never thought
Jokic
about it like
thing.
that.
That shit would be crazy, dog.
I feel like it'll do the same thing for Luka too.
But I feel like
they feel like
Luka's already alive. I don't know. If he win this year, it would be crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
He don't have dirt problems.
I don't think it'll boost him as high as it would like boost Giannis, like I say.
Probably not, but see, they want it to be Luka, bro. They want Luka to be.
If it could be Luka, it would be crazy.
Luka, bro, they would want it to be Luka. But
and I feel like if they do that,
one of them two though, one of them three,
it'll have that same effect, like how Sean was saying it would have with Jokic. I feel like that would probably draw that same effect. Like, it's gonna be stupid. Everybody gonna be looking for them now because it's like, bro, this dude came in. How old is Luka? Like 22?
Yeah, he balling too.
Yeah, 21, 22.
Yeah, if he come in and Buddy win a ring, now the conversation is gonna be, hey, okay, this guy is just young in age. He been playing professional basketball for the last 6 years.
6 years, bro. It's been like 6, 7 years. Dude got a crazy career over there. He won something over there, didn't he? He won the championship or something?
Bro, he was the shit over there.
He balling over here. So, I mean, I think any one of those would send it to a whole nother stratosphere because they're all from overseas, except for Chris Paul, obviously. They were all from overseas. So it'd definitely send it to something else that we ain't never seen before. Even though Dirk did win one, I feel like this will just take it.
See, and that's the thing is, I don't know. Oh, my bad, man. I don't know what it'll push for the international game because we've seen Dirk, you've seen dudes. Pretty much the entire San Antonio Spurs for 20 years was dudes that was not from here, bro. Like nobody on the squad was really from America. All their main players from another country.
But the biggest thing was
taken care of.
I think the biggest thing with the Spurs was them being the Spurs. It's probably why you felt like that. The Mavericks are because the Spurs were, hey, we are basketball. We ain't worried about flash. We got the big fundamental, you know what I'm saying? Luka just appeals to the eye more than a Tony Parker or even a Ginobili because I feel like Luka is over here because of a player like Ginobili. You know what I'm saying? But it's just Luka appears a little more flashy. They not in that San Antonio system. They got what's the name is they owner, Mark Cuban. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if that would have happened maybe in another city, it might have happened sooner. But just because everybody considered San Antonio, this is boring basketball, it's just a winning formula. You know what I'm saying? So
I always thought that was nuts. The games were kind of slow and kind of boring, but I'm like, bro, they win.
Yeah.
And what
You
Tim
know what
did
I'm
to
saying?
everybody was just wrong all the time.
And
One thing
that's why out of
I had,
that, everybody talk about Timmy.
one thing I do want to add to that though, with Luka and the Joker though, they bring to the game like that playground feel, and they got some swag to them.
Yeah.
Dirk
That's what I'm
didn't
saying. They more
swag.
entertaining.
You know what I'm saying? They more entertaining, so they can sell tickets. You can make them the face of the franchise. You
Bro,
can make
they
them the
stayed
face of
sold
the
out in
NBA.
Dallas.
Yes.
During most of Dirk's run, bro, they were like sold out all the time.
But it was more of a personal thing, just like he was saying, like Tim Duncan. We can't argue that he ain't one of the top 5 best power forwards, you know what I'm saying, in the game ever. You know what I'm saying? But the way they played it, it was just, it's like watching them good high school games. You know you got a whole bunch of athletes on your team, but you getting shitted on by this group of young men. I ain't gonna say what color or nothing they are, but they was more strategic. They knew how to pass the ball. They played the game right. So that's what I'm saying with Luka. He come over with swag. He come over already with credits. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And they win. And they dominate the game.
So that's my thing. So I think you can put some money behind somebody that's already gaining that international attention. So him with a ring, bruh, that will bring not just attention, but it'll bring over other international players that got some game like them. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
because when Dirk won, it was like, bruh, nobody was surprised. Everybody was like, "Oh, hey, Dirk, that dude." You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's true.
It
He
took
did
long
his
enough
thing.
is what everybody
Yeah,
was
you know what
thinking.
I'm saying? Niggas like, hey, I don't surprise me. But like Luca, hey, he young. You know what I'm saying? He just appeal more to the eye. He do them flashy
Yeah.
passes and all of that crazy stuff. And they winning. So if he win a ring, and like I said, the fact that him just being 22, they gonna be like, bruh, we gonna have to look deeper at these international players. We
Yeah.
just, it's like, cause it's like now they got I guess they kind of got like a pipeline or wherever they pulling, at least from that particular region. Now they're gonna just try to pull more players from that pipeline.
Facts. He's just more marketable, man. He's more marketable than what Dirk was. And that's great. So, and that's why we think he'll just go to another stratosphere and shoot off like a rocket.
I like all them picks though. Everybody
Yeah.
arguing is good.
Hey, we can go on with this all day, but we ain't. So we'll holler at y'all next time. Like, share, subscribe.
Crazy
Hit
stuff.
that button.
Happy Memorial Day weekend. Barbecue, drink safe. We out.
Peace.
Deuce.
Peace.
Yeah.